Hello, what's your name?
My name is Julian Joyce.
So what subject are you going to be talking about today?
I'm going to be talking about the bombing of the Twin Towers.
How do you know about the subject?
I'm a journalist. I work for the BBC and I was on duty. I was news editor on the day that the towers were bombed. I was in the newsroom.
When were the Twin Towers bombed?
It was September the 11th, 2001.
Right, can you stop?
Oh, Mum, this is recording.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, go on.
We've got to start again.
Sorry, you can cut that bit out.
Okay. What happened exactly?
Well, I was in the newsroom down at Westminster, not the main BBC newsroom, but the newsroom for the political programmes unit, where all the MPs and stuff, the political stories are covered. And we suddenly noticed that CNN was showing pictures, because we've got monitors all over the newsroom. CNN was showing pictures of the Twin Towers with smoke coming from one of them, and someone said the Twin Towers are on fire. No one knew at that point that someone had flown a plane into it. Everyone just thought that there'd been a fire. And gradually eyewitness reports started to come in, and people said they'd seen an aeroplane flying into the side of the Twin Towers. And no one could believe that, and everyone thought it was an accident. And we were basically just watching the tower just with smoke gushing out of the side. And then suddenly another plane, it was all live on TV, another plane flew into the other tower. And we said, what's that? And it was, as it happened, basically, everyone realised that another plane had flown into the tower, and that the first plane had flown into the other tower, and there was some sort of attack going on the towers. And so everyone just basically forgot what they were doing and just sat around and stared at the TV screens. And we started to sort of ring around and get reaction, or try to get reaction. So I think we put a call into Downing Street, where the Prime Minister works, to see if they were saying anything, but it was too early, they weren't saying anything. So everyone was just watching the events unfold. And gradually it became known that 2 planes had been flown deliberately into the Twin Towers, and that hundreds, if not thousands of people had been killed. And then as we watched, the towers began to burn even more fiercely on the TV. And then suddenly one of them just collapsed without warning. We actually watched it. I remember I was going into a studio to put a guest in, and there was a screen on in the studio, and I was looking up. And as I watched, on live TV, this whole tower just collapsed in on itself and fell down towards the ground. And people were jumping from the other tower. They were actually jumping out of the windows. You could see them falling. It was the tallest building in the world, I think, at one point. And people were jumping from, sort of halfway up, 3/4 of the way up, and you just saw their bodies spinning down as they fell. I don't think you can see those pictures anymore. They've been censored. And the other tower then collapsed as well. We just watched it fall in on itself. And there was all sorts of eyewitness reports coming out of New York now. As the towers hit the ground, the big cloud of smoke and dust basically just spread out over the whole of Manhattan, where the towers were. There were reports of lots of firemen killed. No one knew how many people had been killed. They were saying up to 5,000 or 6,000, but in the end, about 3,000 people died. It was a very dramatic day. And of course it changed the news on that day completely, and people were saying history isn't going to be the same ever again. And then George Bush made a speech in which he named Iraq, and everyone thought, hang on, what's Iraq got to do with this? And it later became known that Bush had used the Twin Towers as an excuse for launching his war with Iraq. And there we are, that's what I remember.
So why do you think that is such a significant part of history?
Because it changed the rules of the game. beforehand, I don't think anyone paid much heed to Islamic terrorists and Islamic fundamentalists. After the Twin Towers, people were talking about nothing else. And of course we had the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq, both of which are still going on today.
Okay, thank you.